Dear friends, good evening. We welcome you all to this special program, BSNK's Free Spoken English program. So far, we have conducted 3 classes. All those 3 classes are really wonderful and very useful, especially yesterday's class about tenses, really helpful. Those who want to improve their English, those who want to speak English fluently, it's really a great help. Our Shibin sir making things very easy and clearer also. So he is preparing very well and he is preparing PowerPoint presentations to make us understand easily. So we have to really appreciate him, and also we appreciate your desire to learn English, to improve your English. Actually, uh, we want to help you more and more in this learning process. I think you already joined in our WhatsApp group. In that, every day we are going to give tomorrow onwards to improve your vocabulary. We are going to give new words and their meaning and some sentences so that you can try to use those words in sentences so that it will improve your fluency. Everybody has some idea about English, but why they are unable to speak fluently means one of the reasons is lack of vocabulary. When your mind is filled with the vocabulary words, you will speak speedily. So you will not get much time to think. Immediately the words will flow out of your mouth. When you don't have vocabulary, you will think what word I have to use here. Like that you will think and it will take some time for it. So if you want to improve your English, speak fluently, one thing you need to do is improve your vocabulary. So for that, we are going to help you tomorrow onwards in our WhatsApp group, BSNK Free English Spoken Group course, that WhatsApp group. We are going to give you 2 new words and its meanings and its usages. So if you are not part of WhatsApp group, we request you join to the WhatsApp group. Without wasting your time and your time, let's start our class. Let's invite our English trainer, Mr. Shibin Thomas from Kerala. Now he will take class for us. I request Shibin Thomas sir to take class. For the sake of clarity of voice and video, for first 45 minutes, we will mute your audio, your mics. After the class, we'll give permission to unmute your mic so that if you want to ask anything, if you have any doubts, you can ask. So to avoid disturbance at the time of class, we are muting your mics. Kindly notice it.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Welcome back to BSNK English class. Today we continue with the tenses, and today we are going to learn the use of tenses. The last class was just about the basic lessons about tenses. We learned there are 12 tenses for each in present, past, and future tenses. Today, we are going to learn about the uses of tenses. Once again, let's have a quick look at the tenses. 3 tenses are there: present, past, and future. In present tense, there are four tenses: simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. That is same in all the other two tenses also. So total, there are 12 tenses. So these names are familiar as we have already learned it. Today, we are going to learn the uses of each of these tenses. First of all, simple present tense. Its first use is to mention repeated or regular actions or habits. If you have habits, we can mention that only in simple present tense. And simple present tense is used to denote repeated regular actions or habits. For example, I read newspaper every day. So for example, this is given. We can replace reading newspaper with any other verbs that we do regularly. Some of you have the habit of drinking tea. So you can say, I drink tea every day. I have coffee every day. I go for walk every day. Like that. Usual things, regular repeated actions or habits can be said in simple present tense. Let's see another example. John writes diary. It's his
Brother,
habit.
excuse me, brother.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry to disturb you, but there is a disturbing window which is coming on the shade screen. Please move this window away from the shade application, which is disturbing and which is actually overriding the content of the shade screen. Can that be removed?
So I don't see any option here to remove that. Sometimes it comes and fades away. It's a part of this Zoom, isn't it?
Not sure. Never experienced this window before.
So there is no option to close that. It appears sometimes.
Okay, okay, brother. Please go on.
Okay, just let me see. Please wait. Just a minute. Yes, okay, now let's continue. So this is the first use of simple present tense to denote regular actions or repeated actions or habits. Next, to mention truths and facts, we can use only simple present tense, permanent truths and facts. There are some permanent truths, like the earth revolves around the sun. That's the permanent truth. So that must be mentioned only in simple present tense. We cannot say that the earth revolved around the sun because it is past. So that fact can be mentioned only in simple present tense. It's a fact. It's a truth. Another example, water is precious. That is always true. It's not about a past. It's not only about present. It's also about future. So permanent things are mentioned in simple present tense. Remember, repeated regular actions and habits. Then second, truths and facts. That means permanent truths and facts. Scientific facts also will be included in this point. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius is an example for another fact. So facts must be said only in simple present tense. Then, next, announcements and information will be also, though it happens in future, it can be said in simple present tense. So you might have heard a lot of announcements. Announcements will be like this. Our train leaves, or your train, a particular name of a train may be mentioned, leaves at 8 p.m. or it arrives at 8 a.m. like that. The chief minister arrives in the evening. When ministers and important personalities arrive, their announcement, the announcement declaring their arrival will be said before. So that will be like this. The chief minister arrives in the evening at 5 p.m. Okay, like that. The chief minister inaugurates the function. Okay, like that. So announcements and information will be, though it happens in future, it is said in simple present tense. See the structure of all these sentences: subject, first form of the verb, and then object. For all these sentences in simple present, the structure is subject, first form of the verb, then object. So the object may be replaced with the adverb or adjective or such words, but subject and first form of the verb, that's common in all sentences. Then fourth use of simple present tense is to express feelings and possessions. Feelings, what we feel. So how do we say that? For example, I believe in God. That's what I feel in my mind. I believe in God. Then I like it. Okay, such sentences. What I feel, I don't like it. Then I love it. I don't love it. I think, I know. Yeah, I feel, I believe. All such feelings must be mentioned in simple present tense, like I believe in God. Then it's an example for possession. The last example is an example for possession. Possession means something that we, sorry, the last one is not an example for possession. That's an example for a feeling. Susan likes Indian food. Susan likes Indian food. I shall give an example for possession, like I have a car. I have a good friend. She has a house. So all these are possessions. So that is mentioned in simple present tense. Clear. So these are the four uses, main four uses of simple present tense. They are repeated regular actions or habits, then truths and facts, announcements and information that may happen in future. It's about, for example, let me make a clarification for the third point. Now it's 8 o'clock. And if the chief minister arrives at 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock is a future time. It's a mention about future time. But I can say the chief minister arrives at 10 o'clock. Okay. So though it happens in future, we can mention that in simple present tense. That's the use of announcements and information. When we use simple present tense for these things, this is how to use that. Then feelings and possessions. Feelings, I believe in God. Susan likes Indian food. I have a car. They have a pet dog, like that. Okay. Yes. So these are the uses of simple present tense. Next, let's move on to the next tense, present continuous tense. Present continuous tense. Its first use, actions happening now. If we see happening before us, right before us, we can say that. Like Angel is doing homework. When Angel is doing homework and when we see that, we can say Angel is doing homework. When? Now she is doing that. So we can say Angel is doing homework. Another example, Raj and his brother are playing. When are they playing? They are playing now. So we can say Raj and his brother are playing. Next, temporary actions. Some actions may be temporary, that may last only for a few minutes or for a short time. Its duration will be for a short time. Example, they are staying in New Delhi for a few days. So its duration is a few days. Next example, we are preparing for the test. When? Now, but it lasts only for a short time. Okay, yes, it's not for a long time. Next, third example, third use, definite future plans. If we have a definite future plan, we can mention that in some present continuous tense. Example, we are going to do it. She is planning to go. These two examples mention that it's a definite future plan. If we say we are going to do it, it's about a plan that we have in our mind. Next, she is planning to go, is planning. Yes. So I think you have noticed the structure of the sentences in present continuous tenses. See, subject, is or am or are, then ing form of the verb. That's how we can write a sentence in present continuous tense. Angel is the subject in the first sentence. Is doing is the verb, that is or am or are. Is a matching auxiliary verb for angel. Then for the second sentence, we can see are playing. Then they are staying. We are preparing. We are going. She is planning. Yes. Next, present perfect tense. Present perfect tense. The third tense in present tense. Present perfect tense. Its first use is to mention finished actions in the immediate past. In the immediate past means just now, that's over. Okay. Yes. Example, I have broken a piece of glass. When? Just now. Immediate past. Immediate past means not yesterday, not before 10 years, just now. To mention an action that has occurred just now, we can use present perfect tense. So there you can see a statement here. I have broken a piece of glass. When have I broken? Just now I have broken a piece of glass. Just now. It has happened just now. Okay. Yes. Then second example, Rahul has had breakfast. When has Rahul had breakfast? Just now. Just now he has had breakfast. So we can say Rahul has had breakfast. So how do we answer when people ask us about having food? If we have had food, how do we say? Yes, I have had food. Yes, I have had breakfast. I have had dinner. Yes. Third question, second point in present perfect tense is it's used if the effect of an action is present. If the effect of an action is present now, we can use present perfect tense. For example, I have passed the test. I may have passed the test yesterday. I might have got the clarification that I passed the test yesterday, but I can't say today that I have passed the test because its effect is present now. Just imagine that you wrote an examination before 1 month, you got its result before a few days, and you knew that you passed. How would you say? Yes, you can say, I have passed the test. Okay, yes. When? Maybe yesterday, maybe a few days back, but its result or its effect is present now. So I can say, I have passed the test. Then next example, she has tested COVID positive. So the test may be conducted earlier. So you can say, I have tested COVID positive. Yes. But though it happened in past tense, its effect is there in the present. So we can say, I have passed the test. She has tested COVID positive. I have been there. Yes, like that. Next, unfinished actions. Unfinished means that is not finished. Unfinished actions. Example, she has worked for this company for 6 months. Still, she works for this company. And then we can say she has worked for this company for 6 months. Has she resigned? No, not yet. Still, she is working, but we can say she has worked for this company for 6 months. This is an unfinished action. Still, she is working there. Okay. Next. She has lived in Mumbai for 2 months. Still, she lives there. but we can say she has lived in Mumbai for 2 months. Next, third, sorry, there's a mistake in the number. It's the fourth point, experiences. Experiences. I have been to New York. When we mention about our experiences, we can say, I have been to there, I have been to Delhi, I have seen it, I have heard about it. Yes. So this person, one who speaks this sentence, I have been to New York, maybe before 10 years, maybe before 20 years, but he has been to there. So we can say, I have been to New York. Another example, just like experience, we can say, we have heard of it. Maybe before 10 years, maybe yesterday, but we can say we have heard of it. Sometimes we get the questions like, have you ever seen lion? Have you ever heard this song? Have you ever read this book? So it's the word is there, ever. So that means ever in your life. So we can say, yes, I have read that book. I have heard of it. I have been to New York. I have been to Delhi. Yes. Though these things, these actions took place before some years, it's mentioned like an experience. So experience has value in our life. So it has a connection with the present tense. That is why we bring this tense, this pattern in this tense. Yes. Let's move on to the next tense, that is present perfect continuous tense. This is the last tense in the present tense, present perfect continuous tense. Its first use is to mention actions that started in the past and continues until now. Action that started in the past and now it continues. Example, I have been working here for 2 years. When did I start working? Before 2 years. And do I continue now? Yes, I continue now. Yes. So it's such a long action. See, I have been working here for 2 years. I am working for this company now, for this institution now. I started working for this institution before 2 years, and now I am working for this company, for this institution. So I can say, I have been working here for 2 years. Next example, she has been living in the city since 2020. She started to live here in 2020 and still she is living here. So she can say, I have been living in the city since 2020. When we say it's, she has been living in the city since 2020. Yes. The second use of present perfect continuous tense is to mention actions that have clear results. Action that has clear results. Example, the ground is wet because it has been raining all night. Here we can see two tenses. The first clause of this sentence is simple present tense. The ground is wet. The second clause is it has been raining all night. These two clauses are joined by because. Let's focus on the second clause. It has been raining all night. How do we know that it has been raining all night? We see the ground is wet. Since the ground is wet, we can assume that it has been raining all night. See the point? Action that has a clear result. The clear result is the ground is wet. So what may be the action here? It has been raining all night. See, it has been raining all night is a continuous action. Okay, yes. Next example. He is ready for the examination as he has been working hard. The result is he is ready for the examination. What has been doing? He has been working hard. Two actions are there. One of these is the result of one action. You know, he is ready for the examination is the result of his hard work. How do we mention that he has been working hard? Yes. Third point, it's to mention temporary but continuous actions. The action may be temporary, but it was continuous. It is continuous. Okay, not was, it is continuous. Milan has been waiting for his friend. He might have started to wait for his friend at 7:30, and still he continues that. It's a continuous action. So we can mention that in present perfect continuous tense. Milan has been waiting for his friend. If we wait for someone and if that person comes late, we can say that I have been waiting for you since 7 o'clock. I have been waiting for you for 2 hours. Yes. It's a point of doubt that most of the students feel, and that is about the confusing use of for and since. Please listen to the first examples here, for and since. Okay, you can see the word for here, for 2 years. After for, we mention the period of time. And after since, we mention the point of time. Have you got the difference between for and since? For period of time, like 1 day, 3 days, 2 hours, 6 months, 5 years, all these are periods of time. But the second example is an example for point of time. Since July, since 7 o'clock, since November, since 2020, since last year, like that point of time. Okay, yes. Next, temporary action. We reached here, temporary actions, but continuous actions. Let's see another example for temporary action, but that is continuous. The policemen have been questioning the man. It's a temporary action, but it has a continuous nature. The policemen have been questioning the man. Policeman is plural, so it takes have been. Milan is singular, so it takes has been. Okay, that's the only difference we see here. And just the difference of the verb also, waiting and questioning. Okay. Yes, the pattern of present perfect continuous tense is subject plus has been or having, have been plus ing form of the verb. Subject, has been or have been, ing form of the verb. So that is all about present tense. Now, past tense. The first tense in the past tense is simple past tense. First use of simple past is to denote completed action in the past. An action that is completed in the past. Example, I played football yesterday. They finished the work. These two actions got completed in the past tense itself. It is not in the present. See the first example. When did I play football? Yesterday. I played football yesterday. They finished the work. When? Already in the past tense, not now. Then, second use of simple past tense is to mention habits in the past. Habits in the past. For example, when I was a child, I used to run. It was my habit. Every child runs like that. When I was a child, I used to run. Here, used is simple past, isn't it? Used. Yes. We can replace this sentence with would also. We can say, when I was a child, I would run. Instead of used to, we can use would also, would. The word would has such a use. Would is used to denote past habit, like used to. Okay. Then next, I got sweets when I met my uncle. Okay, it was the habit of my uncle to give sweets for me. So it's mentioned like this. I got sweets when I met my uncle. Next, past facts. But that's not a present fact, past fact. Okay. That's not a fact in the present tense anymore. For example, India was ruled by the British. That's a past fact, not present. Now India is not ruled by the British. Now India has democracy. People from here, our representatives rule us. Indians only rule us. But in the past tense, India was ruled by the British. That's an example for a past fact. Next example, we had a good childhood. Everyone has good childhood. When we say about our past, it's like we had a good childhood. Yes. Next, past continuous tense. The second tense in past tense, past continuous tense. First use action at a particular point of time in the past. Past continuous tense is used to denote an action at a particular point of time in the past. It was only at a particular point of time in the past. It did not continue. I was painting the wall. There's a mistake. It's wall. Okay. Yes. Next, William and Harry were playing cricket. William and Harry were playing cricket. When did they play cricket? When were they playing cricket? Earlier in the past tense, but it was a continuous action for some time. Yes, at a particular point of time. Yes, I was painting the wall in the afternoon. When? In the afternoon. That's past. Now it's night. I was painting the wall in the afternoon. William and Harry were playing cricket. When? At a point of time in the past. Next point, parallel actions. Parallel means that's going on at the same time. If two things happen together, that's parallel actions. Example, in past tense, we can see two things that happened together. One was continuous, one was just an ordinary action. When I reached home, everyone was watching TV. See, reaching home is not a continuous action. It happens within a fraction of a time, at a particular time. But watching TV takes time. It's not for a second. Reaching home takes a few seconds. Okay, after a long journey, we reach home. So it takes just a few seconds to reach home. But the second action mentioned, the second part of the sentence is watching TV. That's a continuous action. So when we reach somewhere, people may be doing things, different things. Okay, like that. Next example, while I was studying, I heard a loud noise. Which of these is continuous action, studying or hearing noise? Hearing noise is just for a few seconds. But studying is a continuous action. So two actions can be seen here. Two are parallel, but one happens in a continuous manner. The other one happens immediately. Yes. Then we will tell our friends, when you called me, I was studying. When they reached home, I was reading newspaper. Okay, like that. Next, third use of past continuous tense is to mention repetition or annoyance in the past. Repetition means an action that takes place repeatedly. If someone does something repeatedly in the past tense, it is written in past continuous tense. Annoyance also, that is disturbance, also is like that. See the examples. Samson was always talking in the class. Samson was always talking in the class. So that is his continuous nature, his repetitive nature. That may be an annoyance for others. It was making an irritating sound. That's annoyance. If sometimes some sounds irritate us. So if it continues, we can say it was making an irritating sound. Yes. Then next, past perfect tense. First use is an action finished before another past action. An action finished before another past action. Example, when I reached there, the program had started. In this example, you can see two actions, but one action finished before another action. Can you identify which action happened or which action finished and which action happened later? I reached there, program had started. What happened earlier? Yeah, that is, the program started earlier. Then only I reached there. Next, Joel had left the meeting before I joined. Yes. What happened earlier? Joel left the meeting. So we can write that had left. Then only I joined. See, if two actions happened in past tense and one happened earlier, the action that happened earlier must be written in past perfect tense, and the action that happened after that must be written in simple past tense. Let me explain the first example once again. I reached there, the program started. Which of these happened first? The program started first. Then only I reached there. So we can mention the program had started because that's what happened first. Then only I reached there. So I can write, when I reached there, the program had started. Second example, Joel had left the meeting before I joined. What happened first? Joel left the meeting. So that has to be written like had left. Joel had left the meeting. Then only I joined. So I can write, Joel had left the meeting before I joined. Next, action happened before a specific time, a particular time. Example, Kiran had never read that book before yesterday. Kiran had never read that book. It's a point of particular time. That's yesterday. Before yesterday, he had never that book. Okay. Yes. Next, they had not done the work till evening. Here you can see an action mentioned in past perfect tense and a particular specific time. That is evening. So till evening, they had not done the work. So the evening is a specific time. Before that, they had not done the work. Next, past perfect tense is used to describe reason and effect. Reason and effect in the past tense. Example, he was not selected as he had been late. The thing is that the effect is that he was not selected. The reason is he had been late. Yes. Next, we were not admitted as there had been a dispute. The result is we were not admitted. The reason is there had been a dispute. Dispute is mentioned as there had been a dispute. Remember the pattern? Subject, had been. Okay, that's the pattern. Subject and had been. That is same for all the tense, all the sentences given in the past perfect tense. The program had started. Joel had left the meeting. Kiran had never read that book. They had not done the work. He had been late. And there had been a dispute. Next, past perfect continuous tense. First use is to mention action that started in the past and continued and stopped. An action started in the past, continued and stopped. I had been working here till the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. Look at this example. I had been working here till the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. The pattern is had been working. Yes. He started to work there in the past tense. He continued to work there. Then he stopped. Okay. So past perfect continuous tense is used to denote an action that started in the past. It continued for some time and then it stopped. Continuous verb started, continued, and stopped. For example, if you started to work anywhere in 2012 and continued it for 6 years, and in 2018 you stopped it, it was a continuous action. There you can say, I had been working here for 6 years. Okay. Yes. So the action started in the past, continued for some time, and stopped in the past tense itself. Next example, they had been playing football. They had been playing football. This is clear. They started to play football in the past tense, continued to play, and then they stopped. Next, mentioning duration of an action before something in the past. Duration of an action before something in the past tense itself. Example, Donald wanted to go home as he had been working all day long. Donald wanted to go home is in simple past tense. The thing is that he had been working all day long. Okay, the duration is all day long. Yes. Next example, we dispersed the meeting because the guests had been waiting for us. We dispersed the meeting is in simple past tense, and the reason is given in past perfect continuous tense. That is, the guests had been waiting for us. Next, simple future. We come to the future tense. This is the first tense in future tense, that is simple future tense. Let's see its uses. Its first use is to mention an action decided to do at the moment. If we decide to do something about future at the moment, we say that in simple future tense. Example, I am hungry, I will have some food. The present time, at present, I'm hungry. So what have I decided? I will have some food. That is in simple future tense. Will have. The pattern of simple future is subject, will or shall, then first form of the verb. Next example, we are tired, we will take rest. At present, we are tired. So what have they decided to do? Have we decided to do? We will take rest. We will take rest. The pattern is we, subject, will or shall, then take. Next, simple futures second use is to denote promise, prediction, and thoughts. Example, I won't cheat you. That's a promise. That's a promise I give you, what I won't cheat you. Second, I will keep my word. That's another example for prediction. Sorry, promise. Predictions can be like it will rain. Okay, like that. Then conditional. The third use of simple future tense is conditional. Example, when I get there, I will call you. I'll call you only when I get there. Got it. So that's a condition. I will call you when I get there. So when I get there is a condition. Only then I'll call you. Next example, if you come late, I won't help you. That also is conditional. If you come late, I won't help you. So condition is that you have to come early, then only I can help you. I will help you. Yes. Next, unpreventable actions in future. We human beings cannot control everything. There are some certain things that is beyond us. Example, it will be hard on you. Sometimes people curse fate, like that's about to happen in the future, like it will be hard on you. Next, summer will come after the season. That's unpreventable. Seasons come according to its turn. Summer will come after the season. So it is used to mention unpreventable actions in future. Next, future continuous tense. Its first use is to denote an action in progress in future. An action that is in progress in future. Example, we will be attending a meeting tomorrow. We will be attending a meeting tomorrow. We is the subject. Will be attending is the pattern of future continuous tense. Will be attending. So it's an action in progress in future tense. Yes. So the pattern is subject, will be or shall be, then ing form of the verb. So this action will be continuing. In progress means continuing in future. So we have not yet started attending the meeting. Maybe, yeah, it's about tomorrow's meeting. We have not yet started it, but maybe at this time we will be attending a meeting tomorrow. Next, Paul will be speaking to a huge crowd. It's about future. It's about the future, and Paul has not yet started speaking. At this time, maybe tomorrow or after a month, Paul will be speaking to a huge crowd. It will be a continuous action. Its second use is to denote interrupted action in the future. Interrupted means that was interrupted, interrupted. There was a stop in between while the action was going on. There will be a stop during the action. For example, when she arrives, they will be waiting for her. In this example, they will be waiting for her. They will stop waiting for her when she arrives. There is no need for them to wait for her as she arrives. When she arrives, they will stop waiting for her. Yes. So the interrupted action is waiting for her. When will it stop? When she arrives. If we wait for someone, we will stop waiting for them when they come. Right? Then we will not wait for them because they have come. Yes. Next. Dawn will be asking questions till you clear it. Dawn will be asking questions till you clear it. So when will Dawn stop asking questions? When you clear it, Dawn will stop asking questions. So that action will be interrupted, stopped, while the other action happens. Next, parallel actions in future. Parallel, we have already seen that word. That means two things that happen together. Example, Reena will be singing songs while John will be playing keyboard. These two actions are parallel actions. When we see concerts, music concerts, we see there's a singer who sings. There are other instrument players who play the keyboard, such musical instruments, orchestra. So these two actions take place at the same time. We'll be singing songs, we'll be playing keyboard. The change is only with the subject and verb. The pattern is same. We'll be singing, we'll be playing. Yes. Next example, you will be learning when I will be teaching you. See, these actions have not yet started. It's about future. When you will be learning, I will be teaching you. These two actions will go together, parallel. Fine. Next, future perfect tense. Its first use is to denote completion before a specific time in future. Completion before a specific time in future. Completion means, complete. Yes. It will be completed before a particular time in future. Example, by the end of this month, we will have completed this course. If we are doing a course, we can say that I will have completed this course by the end of this month or by the end of this year. That action will be completed at that particular point of time. If you are studying in 10th standard, by the end of this academic year, I will have completed my 10th standard. We can say that. Next, we will have finished writing by 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. is the time expected from us to finish writing. So we will have finished writing by 6 p.m. Next, second use of future perfect tense is the duration in the future, to mention the duration in the future. Example, Anil will have lived in the US for 10 years in 2025. This is just 2022, but in 2025, what will happen? Anil will have lived in the US for 10 years. So when has he started living there? In 2015. If he has started to live there in 2015, when it is 2025, he will have lived in the US for 10 years. Next, we will have done the work for 2 years by the end of this year. Yes, so it is going to be 2 years. So when it happens, we will have done the work for 2 years. Now it may be 1.5 years, but towards the end of this year, it will be 2 years. So we can say we will have done the work for 2 years by the end of this year. Next, certainty about the immediate past. If we are sure that something might have happened, we can say that. For example, they will have reached home by now. To say this example, you and some other people started your journey from a particular point, and after reaching home, you can say they also will have reached home by now. It's high time for them to reach home. It's high time they reached home. So if you're sure that, if you are certain that something has happened in the immediate past, immediate past means just now. That's over, just now. You can say they will have reached home by now. Looking at the clock, we say that they will have completed writing. They will have reached home. They will have reached the bus stop. Next, Nayana will have done her assignment by now. We don't see Nayana now, but we guess, we are sure that Nayana will have done her assignment by now. According to our calculations, we say Nayana will have done her work, done her assignment by now. Next is future perfect continuous tense. That is the last tense in the future tense. Its first use is to denote something will continue, an action that will continue until a point of time or an action. Until a point of time or an action. Example, I will have been working here for a year by the time I get promotion. I will have been working there. Will have been working there. Will have been plus ing form. It will be an action that will be continuing in the future for some time. Till a point of time or another action. I will have been working there for a year by the time I get promotion. So I think that I will have been working there in the institution and then I'll get promotion. By the time I get promotion, I will have been working there for a year. Yes. Next, they will have been living in Germany for 3 years by the next World Cup. Yes, when the next World Cup comes, they will have been living in Germany for 3 years. Next, second use of future perfect continuous tense is to denote an action that finishes just before another action or time. Just before another action or time. Example, I will be happy when I meet you next time because I will have been waiting to see you. So why will I be happy? Because I will have been waiting for you to see you. Next. Arun will be tired because he will have been working for the night shift. So we assume that Arun will be tired because he will have been doing. He will have been working for the night shift. It will be a continuous action. Okay, so that he will be tired. Yes, that is all about the uses of tenses. We have seen 12 tenses. and its uses. So going through it again will help us to learn it well, quite well. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Shibin Thomas, for teaching us the uses of tenses and explaining it in a very simple way. Thank you for the neat presentation. Dear friends, if you have any questions, you can ask Mr. Shibin Thomas. He will answer you. We will unmute now. You can ask your questions.
Yeah,
Please
hello.
ask questions.
Hello, brother. I'm Ramkrishna. So I have this silly question like, so when we will be using I would, I could, and I should. So I think in the perfect tenses and even perfect continuous in future, we have not used those would and should and could, those things. But what is the situation and what is the timing when we should use those things?
Yes, of course, that's a good doubt. I plan to take that in another section because I have already did a frame for that. So there are sentences that we can use like I can. That's a simple present tense. I could is a simple past tense.